Coming up tonight on VCU InSight.
Fall is officially here, but summer weather is sticking around. I'm Alyssa Bernier, and I'll tell you how this is affecting apple season.
I'm Sean Jovins, and I'll tell you about a Richmond spider that is hoping to make a big impact this season.
And it turns out these women are just crazy about quilting.
All this and more.
VCU InSight starts right now.
From the Richard T. Robertson School of Media and Culture at Virginia Commonwealth University, named Best Student Newscast in the Mid-Atlantic, this is VCU InSight.
Good evening and welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Shravan Gunavarpu.
And I'm Jerron Nutter. Thanks for joining us.
Fall officially started a few weeks ago, but it sure hasn't felt like it. As policymakers discuss what we should do about climate change, local farmers say they're already dealing with things being different. InSight's Alyssa Bernier is in our Richmond newsroom with more tonight. Good evening, Alyssa.
Good evening, Shravan. I recently visited a local farm favorite in the Charlottesville area to see what the changing climate means for them. Cynthia Chow's family owns Carter Mountain Orchard in Charlottesville. Recently, she's noticed a change in the seasons.
You know, it has seemed like it's been warmer over the last few years, and we have to just plan a little bit differently.
And planning is a big part of the U.S. government's latest national climate assessment. It says climate change is already causing some of the extreme weather we've seen around the country, such as heat waves and droughts. According to a recent U.S. Drought Monitor report, a lot of Virginia is dry or in drought conditions. For farmers like Childs, that means planning for these temperature extremes.
We have to do a little more irrigating, providing water, especially to some of the younger trees.
Virginia State University agriculture professor Dr. Glenn Chappell says this can cost a pretty penny.
Irrigation systems, depending on the system you get, can either be from $40,000, $50,000 up to $500,000.
Chappell says without water going into the soil, weather extremes are heightened.
We're not recharging the groundwater, which moderates the climate.
For Carter Mountain, this all means it's slim pickings.
High temperatures and long exposure to the sun cause apples to ripen sooner, and if not picked on time, they rot.
The heat also keeps customers away from this fall activity.
They're all waiting for like the 60 and 70 degree weather instead of 80 and 90.
Now, according to the recent drought monitor, 14 southern states are currently in the middle of what's called a flash drought, when an area goes from super wet to super dry in just a matter of a few weeks. Shravan?
InSight's Alyssa Bernier from our Richmond newsroom. Thanks, Alyssa.
Last fall, we told you about an urban renewal project that planted trees throughout the Carver community in the city of Richmond. Fast forward to today, and the 62 trees are doing just fine. VCU student interns spent their summer taking care of them, including filling up what they call gator bags, to slowly release 15 gallons of water at a time. The Carver Tree Project is a joint effort of VCU and the Carver Neighborhood Association. Organizers say it takes up to 3 years for these red maple, sourwood, and sweet bay magnolia trees to really take root and grow over the next 40 years. The trees are expected to get 100 tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. You can catch them out watering every Monday and Tuesday.
VCU faculty and staff are still getting settled into a brand new building on the medical campus. The new home for the College of Health Professions has 8 floors and more than 150,000 square feet of space. It's the first time all of the college's departments and offices are under one roof, including nurse anesthesia, the #1 program in the country, according to U.S. World News and Report. Before now, VCU Health Professions was in 5 different buildings across 2 campuses. It's all in time for the college's 50th anniversary. The new building's price tag came in at more than $87 million.
Virginia Commonwealth University is home to more than 40 fraternities and sororities on campus. As any of them would tell you, raising money for good causes is close to their hearts. InSight's Pedro Coronado is in the studio with one philanthropy chair from a VCU fraternity.
I'm in the studio with Riley Carone, the Director of Philanthropy for the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity at VCU. Riley, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what philanthropy chairs do in a fraternity?
Yeah, so we're basically in charge of all the fundraising and volunteering that goes on in the fraternity. So we work with different organizations outside of campus, help them with whatever they need, and then we also basically organize and plan all the fundraising that goes on.
I was looking through your the Pi Kappa Phi website, and it seems that you guys sponsor the Ability Experience. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, so that's our philanthropy, and we're the only fraternity in America that actually owns their own philanthropy. So it basically just helps to empower people with disabilities, makes their lives easier. Basically, we go around doing different service projects all throughout the nation. If that's building playgrounds, renovating different summer camps, we hold summer camps, and one of our biggest fundraisers is the Journey of Hope, which is a cross-country cycling trip. Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit more about Rose Week? What exactly is that?
Yeah, so Rose Week is our week-long chain of fundraising events. It's like our week of philanthropy, and this is the second one that we're doing. And so every day we'll have a different fundraising event. And yeah, that all goes to the Ability Experience.
Okay, and what's the hardest thing about being a philanthropy chair?
I would say the hardest thing is the beginning stages of whatever you're planning. It always takes the most time and effort to actually like implement your plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you start planning Rose Week just this semester, or was it been planned?
So we did the first one last fall in 2018, and I started planning this one over the summer, and it started at the beginning of this week on the 29th, on Sunday. Okay. So we started planning it over the summer, yeah.
Were there any changes made from last year's and this year's?
Yeah, so we changed some elements of the opening ceremony that we did on Sunday. We're doing Penny Wars, that's the same as last year, that's all week. We changed some of the fundraisers that we're doing, yeah. Okay.
And what are some of your goals for this year's Rose Week that you guys didn't have last year?
So our main goal, like our main monetary fundraising goal, is $20,000 this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much did you guys raise last year?
We raised $12,500, around there. Yeah.
That's a good goal. And what's your favorite thing about being philanthropy chair for Pi Kappa Phi?
I'd say just seeing everyone have fun with the events and fundraisers that you plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get other organizations involved with your philanthropy, or is it pretty much easy on them?
At least for the organizations at VCU, they're all about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. And one last question. Can you tell me a bit more about the like extracurricular activities that the Rose Week sponsors during the week?
Like some of the events we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, on Tuesday, we had a fundraiser with Noodles & Company at Noodles & Company here on campus. Just yesterday, Wednesday, we had a dodgeball tournament at the gym that I mentioned earlier. Today we're having a fundraiser with Hibachi Box, a local restaurant. And then tomorrow on Friday, we're having a closing ceremony and talent show for all the organizations involved.
I've been speaking with the Director of Philanthropy for VCU's chapter of Pi Kappa Phi fraternity, Riley Carone. Thanks for stopping by, Riley.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's on the mind of any parent with a teen driver, distracted driving. In Chesterfield County, an annual public school program is giving their students and parents life-saving tips. InSight's Morgan Masenka is in our Richmond newsroom with more. Good evening, Morgan.
Good evening, Duran. According to recent federal statistics, more than 200 teens died in 2017 due to distracted driving crashes. I spoke with one teen who said programs like these are good for everyone.
After spending all day in class, Matoaka High School junior Alyssa Weeks came back to school on a recent Tuesday night to learn more about her safety. She says programs like this about distracted driving get students like her thinking.
I think that they're really good for students because they get to see like the cause and effect of like texting and driving. but we get a lot of that in driver's ed as well.
Hosted every fall since 2007, this is the first of 10 Come Home Alive sessions this year. Matoaca driver's education teacher Erin Kutzko says it's different than driver's ed because it offers a different perspective.
But when you really hear what happens to people or people that have been in that experience firsthand, I think it kind of hits home a little bit harder.
Now, Chesterfield County Public Schools doesn't only hold these for the teen drivers, but for the parents as well.
Parents are encouraged to come with their teens for safety tips. Kutzko says it's a little refresher for mom and dad.
You drive for so long, and then you kind of are like, oh yeah, like I need to be a little more mindful.
Weeks says that because of this, she understands the importance of distracted driving, and the program opened her eyes to a bigger picture.
It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, it's just not safe, period.
The Come Home Alive sessions will be held until the end of November from 7 to 8:30. Jerron?
InSight's Morgan Masenka in our Richmond newsroom. Thanks, Morgan.
Richmond's officially sanctioned scooters will soon have a new look, but for all the wrong reasons. You may have seen the yellow electric Bolt scooters around town. This summer, the company paid the city $45,000 to operate in Richmond. This month, they'll be exchanging older scooters with a stronger and reinforced model called the Chariot. The Florida-based company says that's because about a third of the close to 400 scooters around town have been vandalized. Turns out Richmond has the highest vandalism rate of any of Bolt's 11 markets for the first 5 weeks in a city, and that's including Atlanta and Washington, D.C. You can already see Bolt's new model zipping around New York, Baltimore, and Portland.
September was Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and it wrapped up with Richmonders getting moving for the cause. More than 700 participants in 60 teams were part of the St. Jude Walk and Run at Bon Secours Washington Redskins Training Center on Lee Street in Richmond. It all benefited the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, one of the leaders in pediatric cancer care. They raised more than $78,000. About 175,000 kids aged 14 and under are diagnosed with cancer around the world every year. The St. Jude Hospital sees about 7,500 patients annually.
You've heard about starting a business in a basement. How about one in the dining room? One VCU student says the sky's the limit for his business, a social media platform. InSight's Pedro Coronado has more on the story.
VCU student Ilyas Anwar turned visions to reality by starting his own media company, The Cloud, freshman year.
Sometimes I don't even believe it.
The Cloud is a social media platform that delivers the latest hip-hop and viral news. Anwar has gained 33,000 followers and hosted events at big venues in the Richmond area like Poor Boys and Main Stage.
I'm confident that with the team that we got, we'll be able to do really well.
Anwar attended DaVinci Pre-X 2019, a pitch convention where his company won $5,000 towards his brand.
My name is Ilyas Anwar and I'm the founder of The Cloud. I'm currently a second-year student at Virginia Commonwealth University and I'm studying marketing.
The Cloud is also extending the brand towards concert promotions, thanks to Director of Communications Almira Zaki.
I help to organize everything when it comes to the events that we partner with.
Zaki was able to book A-list artists to perform at Richmond venues. One of them, famous rapper Key Glock.
If it's not at the comfort of his home, Anwar and his team are planning their next move at study rooms like this at the local library.
Anwar recruited a team of creatives by networking at different events. Each creative serves a different role in the company.
We have a lot of different creative individuals who are able to put different perspectives on the stuff that we put out.
Aside from hosting their own music festival, Anwar says he sees his company owning offices in big cities across the United States. For VCU InSight, I'm Pedro Coronado.
To check out their interviews and concert recaps, head over to their Instagram at The Cloud.
The VCU School of Education recently took time to recognize academic excellence. The school scholarship and award ceremony happened earlier this month on campus. Faculty awarded 66 scholarships to high-achieving students. The audience included alumni and donors. Last fall, the School of Education had close to 700 total students. The annual event has taken place at VCU for over 20 years. The Virginia Repertory Theater is now premiering its first show of the new season. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder won a Tony Award for Best Musical. The website for Broadway, World Central Virginia, called it a near-perfect production. It's the first of 5 shows for this season, including Rogers and Hammerstein's, Cinderella, and Chicago. All shows are at the November Theater at 114 West Broad Street in downtown Richmond. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder runs through October 20th.
Being in the limelight is something our next guest knows something about. He's getting local rap artists onto stages to share their passion. InSight's Jason DeVesser joins him in our studio.
I'm here with Richmond rapper and the founder of musical platform RVA Rap Elite, Gregory Carden, also known as Radio B. Thanks for being with us today, Gregory.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So you are the founder of RVA Rap Elite. What is RVA Rap Elite?
RVA Rap Elite is a live event and multimedia platform that showcases independent Virginia hip-hop artists. So we do a live monthly event. Right now we're at the Dark Room. It's usually the last Sunday of every month. So it has MC battles, open ciphers, it's an open beat cipher, as well as live performances.
Okay, now at its heart, what is RVA Rap Elite? At the heart of it.
The purpose of it is to provide like a new rite of passage for artists to help sharpen their skills and have a platform to express themselves. And we also do a YouTube show where we provide a platform for people to see their music videos and what we do at our live events. So it has our cypher footage kind of mixed in and blended in with skits and interviews and music videos and things like that. So that's our purpose. Our purpose is to help artists get out there as well as to, sharpen their skills. So still sharpen still.
What is the open cipher? I hear you talking about the open cipher. What is that?
Yeah, so the open cipher basically is we do a sign up, obviously with the Dark Room, there's a fee to get in, obviously, but there's also a $5 fee to sign up for the open cipher. But we film all of our ciphers. So what we do is we take an entire pool, which is like a max of 30 MCs, and we break them up in 5s and 6s. And they all rap, and we do a competition basically. So the winner each month receives a custom hoodie, they receive a studio session, and then we decide a MVP at the end of the season, which has a few different rewards for that as well.
Now, I also read online that you're also doing now beat ciphers. What is that, if you could sum that up?
Yeah, so the beat cipher is basically, it just opens up the platform for producers and beat makers to come out and just share their work. So it's not competitive, there's no fee involved in it at all, but it's just a way for us to kind of merge the artists with the producers and help them network and, build relationships and just have a vibe in there.
For as long as I've lived here in Richmond, I've never heard of a platform that caters to MCs in such a way. I've never heard of that. Until now in this very moment. Why is that the case? Like the way you're doing that, the way you're going about it.
I've seen. Obviously there's definitely been different showcases and different platforms that have come and gone. But I think there's never been one with the amount of layers that we have as far as servicing the culture and servicing the artists. Our goal is to be as valuable to the artists as possible, and in multiple ways, not just helping them get their music out, but also helping them become better lyricists and just have a more appreciated understanding of the culture and the development of being a writer and an MC. And I think because that's our focus, we have a lot of different things that allow artists to be engaged.
I've been speaking with Richmond rapper Radio B, Gregory Carden. Thanks so much for talking with us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thanks
and I really want to hear.
While the Atlantic 10 has many basketball players within its conference, the University of Richmond has one player with much potential. InSight's Sean Jovins has the story.
It's been a long road for Blake Francis to now be playing for the Spiders. He transferred to the University of Richmond at the beginning of last school year. He is a redshirt junior, meaning for a whole year he could practice with the team but not play in games.
It was pretty tough, but it was a lot of positive in it. I got a chance to get physically stronger and work on my game.
He's been working at it for a while. After graduating from Westfield High School in Chantilly, Virginia, he got a scholarship to play at Wagner College, where in his sophomore year, he averaged 17 points a game and made a school record 102 three-pointers. But after a great 2 years, Blake thought it was the right decision to head to Richmond.
I just wanted to be closer to home and also in a better fit. You know, I felt that Richmond was the best place for me academically and playing basketball.
This is the University of Richmond's Robins Center. It is where Blake and the Spiders will take on schools such as Vanderbilt, Wisconsin, and even VCU. While Blake sees improvement in his game, so do his teammates. Spiders starting point guard Jacob Gilliard says that this past year has helped Blake grow as a player.
But just from when he first got here to now, he's definitely got better. He reads the game better.
Now that he's put the red shirt aside, Blake says that he's ready.
My personal goal is, just to be the best player I can be on the court and to help my team win.
If Blake proves himself on the court this season, not only will he help himself, but his fellow Spiders. For VCU InSight, I'm Sean Jovins.
The Spiders' men's basketball season begins November 3rd with their first home exhibition game against Randolph-Macon. Not ready to give up on the taste of summer quite yet? You'd better hurry. Every Wednesday evening since June, Hardywood Brewery has featured the food truck court at the Hardywood Brewery West Creek on Sanctuary Trail Drive in Richmond's West End area. On a recent Wednesday, more than a dozen trucks were out serving up everything from crepes to empanadas. And of course, you could find beer. Hardywood has hosted summer food trucks since the brewery opened in 2011. If you need a food truck fix, they'll wrap up this season on October 30th.
It might sound a bit crazy, but another local Thai restaurant is opening right where another closed this summer. At the corner of Carey and Harrison next to VCU's Monroe Park campus, Elephant Thai closed in June after 15 years in the new location. A new owner is launching Crazy Thai and told Richmond BizSense this summer that he planned on spending $100,000 on upgrades to the dining room and kitchen. This is his first restaurant in the Richmond area after running a Thai restaurant in Newport News. Staff told VCU InSight the restaurant will fuse traditional and American cuisine. Crazy Thai is expected to open in mid-October.
And finally tonight, a group of women are sharing their love of quilting with one another and the community.
For them, it isn't just a daytime hobby, but something much more.
InSight's Christina Burgess has more.
When walking into a meeting, you would think that these women have known each other for a lifetime. From all the laughter, conversations, and smiles. Becky McGeorge has been in the group since day one.
I joined it when we first started the club, which was about 15 years ago.
And it was during that first meeting that they figured out what they wanted to call themselves.
We actually came up with a name that night, which is Crazy Quilters, not because we make crazy quilts, but because we're crazy about quilting.
Crazy! Like how they recently spent an entire weekend quilting and then donated the 28 quilts they made to the Hanover Humane Society. They meet once a month at the Mechanicsville Presbyterian Church, and they're one of the 6 members of the Richmond Quilters Guild. Another original member is Ann Milliken. She says it's just not a fast hobby.
We want the challenge of learning something new, something complex, not just doing the simple quilt you can knock out in a few days.
Depending on the quilt, some can take up to 5 days to a week, while some as big as this one can take up to months or even a year. For these 30 members, the Crazy Quilters is more than just a group.
We do dinner, we go to movies, we go to plays.
It's a sisterhood.
It is a strong bond. We talk about children, we raise grandchildren.
And when together, they're always having fun.
We just have a good time. We're just crazy, crazy women.
Who are crazy about quilting. For VCU InSight, I'm Christina Burgess.
The Crazy Quilters welcome and encourage anybody from beginner to advanced to join. They meet every first Tuesday at the Mechanicsville Presbyterian Church.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
That does it for this edition of VCU InSight.
You can see any of the stories from tonight's newscast by following us on Twitter and Facebook. Let us know about any stories you'd like to see on our show.
And you can also find the full show on our YouTube page. Just search VCU InSight. Thanks for watching. I'm Shravanga Navarpu.
And I'm Jerron Nutter. We'll see you next time.